and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host. As I told you at the end of the last segment, that our next guest would be Will Jackson, Vice President, USBank. Will Jackson, welcome to All About Community.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
Well, you don't have to call me sir, but that's okay if you want to.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
You've earned that right.
I have earned it. Let's talk a little bit about your background, where you're born, educated, or whatever. Where were you born? You were born in Mississippi?
Oakland, California.
Oh, you were born in Oakland.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. You
I'm
look
a
like an
product of
Oakland
town.
man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Did you grow up? You grew up here in Oakland as
Yes,
well?
sir. Yes,
High
sir.
school and elementary?
Horseman Elementary, Frick Junior High School, and Fremont High
Horseman
School.
doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Yes, it does.
Didn't they change the name?
No, Horseman is still there.
It's still there?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you said Frick?
Frick Junior High School.
Oh, yeah.
And
Now,
then Fremont
Frick
High.
changed his name,
Now,
didn't he?
Frick changed his name. I'm not sure what the new name is. but
Yeah,
it is
see, I
changed.
knew one of them changed the name because when I was a deputy probation officer years ago, before I went to law school, I used to have that area
Right.
that I covered as a deputy probation officer. Education,
University of Phoenix.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, how did you end up at USBank?
So I'm not really a traditional banker.
You're not?
no,
I
not
mean,
at
what
all.
kind of bank are you
So,
then?
so you know, my career path was I did a little bit of everything. Human resources. I did warehouse work.
At USBank
No,
or before you got to
the-
USBank?
Before I got to USBank.
Okay,
So I worked,
right.
I started my can we start over? I started my career path with Deloitte and Touche. My corporate
Okay.
America career path with Deloitte and Touche and Human Resources. And at that point, I kind of got the bug. I realized that the world was a lot bigger than what I came from. And there were tons of opportunity there. So from there, once the towers happened, 9/11, I was laid off. But then going from there, I jumped into mortgage banking. And at that point, from the mortgage side of the house and compliance, it just opened my world up to a whole new thing.
Now, open your world to a whole new thing. Now, how did you perceive that? You say, in other words, you saw opportunities and you decided you could take advantage of those opportunities? Is
Absolutely,
that-
because you grow up, when you grow up in silos, you think the world is just one way. But when you start
That's true. That's true.
So when you start to get opportunities and you start to see that there are resources and advocates there for you, the world just opens up for you. So when I got into compliance, I realized, the world, and it opened me up. Compliance opened me up to all different aspects of the bank.
Now,
right?
when you say compliance in relation to a bank, what does that mean?
So I was in BSA compliance, Bank Secrecy Act, anti-money laundering. So we're the ones who kind of looked at accounts, looking for anomalies and making sure the accounts were doing what they said they were going to do. But at the same time, auditing various areas of the bank, looking at it and seeing how they operate. So there was a curiosity that sparked for me there.
I remember I served on the board of a bank at one time called Auto Alliance, a bank in Oakland, and I was acquainted a little bit about compliance, so that's why I was sort of interested in the compliance aspect. Now, what is your current position?
So I'm the business access advisor.
Now,
in
what
Northern
is a
California.
business access advisor?
So basically, I'm here to stand in the gap for small business. That's my job. I understand what the pain points are. And once we identify those pain points, if any, then at that point, we put together whatever tools, resources, strategies they need for these small businesses to not only be sustainable, but successful.
Sustainable but successful. How do you do that in terms of small business? Do you make loans to small businesses, or what is your role?
So again, my role is a liaison. In my role, I don't sell products or services. My job is to establish trust. If there's anything missing from a documentation challenge, if they need to understand what the requirements are, that's my job. And then I work for the 5th largest bank in the nation. So if there's a product or services you do need, we do have it. But again, it's about really establishing trust and getting that business to their end game. That's my job, preventing them with information, connections, and capital.
And how, I travel a lot around the nation. When did USBank come west? It hasn't always been here in the West.
So we've had a presence here with the last.
Not a big presence.
No, it wasn't a big presence. But in the last year or so, we did an acquisition of Union Bank. And so
Right.
with that acquisition, it expanded our market out here in West because we understand that the West is the gold mine.
Well, the West is a gold mine in more ways than one. Uh, let's talk for a moment about some of you mentioned some of your duties, but some of your more specific duties that you have at U.S. Bank that you are expected to perform there.
So workshops, again, providing information. So through these workshops, we're
When you say workshops for
access
whom?
to capital for small business.
Oh, for small
small
businesses,
business.
you explain to them how to get access to capital because access to capital is so critical, isn't that right?
Access to capital is the name of the game.
Right.
All entrepreneurs need capital to fund and grow their business. But if we're being honest about it,
Let's be honest.
a lot of the businesses aren't ready. So our role, what we're doing over at US Bank is just being really intentional and deliberate about closing that racial wealth gap. Because we're sitting down, we're having these conversations, and we're finding out what's missing from these small businesses because everybody needs access, but they don't understand the rules to the game. So our job is kind of showing small businesses how the sausages are made, so to speak.
How the sausages are made. And no matter what, Will is absolutely correct. Access to capital is key. If you don't have access to capital, you may as well just hang it up because you're not going to be able to run your business. We're going to have to go to break. But when we come back, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into what Will does at U.S. Bank and how U.S. Bank is doing a service to this community. So don't touch that remote. Matter of fact, just put it down. We will be right back with All About Community.